Hey, yo, YouTube, what's up? It's your boy Louis Saphir. I don't want to put too fine a point on this, but I am not an anti-Semite. I support Israel. I support the continued prosperity of the only democratic society in the Middle East, the only civilized democratic society in the Middle East. And I would just like to say that keep the comics clean. With that being said, you see the title. Bari Weiss was on Joe Rogan's podcast again, and she discussed anti-Semitism, at least to the best of her knowledge, and I found it lacking. If I were to go what she was saying, I think she's still beholden to the notion that we're upset that the Jews killed Jesus Christ of Nazareth, and that's that's such a 7th century way of thinking it. No. As the title goes, Bari Weiss doesn't understand anti-Semitism, and quite frankly, probably neither do you. I'm going to share with you what my personal perspective of anti-Semitism, at least from a centrist African American who's battled back and forth with left and right leaning people. Real anti-Semitism, the modern day anti-Semitism, is more derivative of the criticisms of the Frankfurt School. A little back history, the Frankfurt School were Jews who escaped Nazi Germany and Soviet Russia, crestfallen that their ideal plans of a socialist utopia failed. And they went about to try to establish that socialist utopia in America through Fabian socialism. You should know this already. But the important thing is why and how they did it. The reason why they did it is because that Jewish people have a love of academia. They have a love of knowledge, and they have always generationally placed themselves at the forefront of intellectualism. So it probably couldn't have happened to anyone else but the Jews. We could have probably had an American progressive awakening without them, but they really trudged the system along. Take whiteness, for example. Whiteness is the notion that it's easy to be accepted into white society just by a name change, and that it's a false allyship. And when they say that they will destroy whiteness, well, it stands to reason, because there are some Jews that could easily change their name from, say, Leibowitz to Stewart, and then they're embraced by society. African Americans and black and brown, well, they can't easily transgress into whiteness because melanin is a great tool for othering people. That is critical race theory. That is the foundation of critical race theory. It gets a bad rap in the alt-right circles, but let's move on from there. What about meritocracy? It's a myth, allegedly. What about the supposed benefits of American capitalist ingenuity? Well, it's destroying the environment. What about family values? Well, feminism. So what I'm saying is the fathers of critical race theory, the fathers of environmentalism, the fathers of post-colonialism destroyed the American ethos. They purposefully eliminated the notion of American exceptionalism, and they went on to teach critical race theory, post-colonialism, feminism towards minorities. To use a mixed martial arts analogy, America was great boxers in the 50s and the 60s. Then the Jews came along and they taught everyone intellectual jujitsu. Took the debate to the ground level, to the individual level, attacked, and, well, taught people how to fight dirty. That is the heart of anti-Semitism. The Frankfurt School's dismantling and deconstruction of the notion of American exceptionalism and replacing it with a worship of egalitarianism, which in itself is also a myth. Sorry, it's cold out here. My lips are chapped. So, what is the main problem then with African Americans having a problem with Jews? Well, in doing so, in teaching people how to fight the notions of American exceptionalism and whiteness, supposedly white patriarchy, you destroyed white people's patriarchy. You destroyed white families. You destroyed white communities. But you kept your own. Jews were the midwives of feminism, but they're very traditionalist people. And that seems rather disingenuous. So, yeah, ultimately what I'm saying is Jews are the forebearers or the midwives of patriarchal withdrawal. They're the ones that taught minorities and people of color how to dismantle the system of white oppression. And in doing so, they destroyed white patriarchy. And whether people are ready to admit it or not, patriarchy is what everyone wants to bring back. Patriarchy as a reward structure for productive masculinity. Patriarchy as a tool of brotherhood. Patriarchy as a combined submission to a higher ideal between confrontational men. The notion is Jews do not destroy their own patriarchy. They destroyed other people's patriarchy. And they never talk bad about their own. Hell, when was the last time you've ever heard of a Jewish informant? Think about that. Think about it. When was the last time you've ever seen a Jewish whistleblower talking from behind a veil about how, yes, oh yes, we cut up all the real estate and we sold it up between ourselves? It never happens. They're too disciplined in their advancement. They're too skillful in their consolidation of political influence and power. These are just things I'm seeing. So, yeah, my ultimate theory is that Jews killed white patriarchy, and everyone who are looking for a patriarchy is blaming them because it seems that Jewish people have the only fungible patriarchy in town. Peace.